This is Lemmy with RevZilla TV, here to talk to you today about Roland Sands mega risers and narrow handlebars. You should be looking into a set of Roland Sands narrow handlebars and mega risers if you want an absolutely super skinny look for the front end of your motorcycle. These things will fit just about any single Harley out there, provided you have a hydraulic front end. Installation on these things should be about cake for most of you guys. It's going to be a standard bar swap if you're not changing your height too far. However, if you decide to go crazy up in the air, you might wind up bumping into that 2-beard category on our BSD, our beard scale of difficulty. So really the swap's going to depend on what you have and what you're going to. Let's get right into things. So those of you who are familiar with Roland Sands' work know that this guy is putting his name all over some stuff he has designed, and this stuff really looks great. It's well thought out parts, they really do look nice. But I think the big claim to fame here is he's working with his dad, Perry Sands, the guy behind Performance Machine, cranking out a lot of these parts, and they're really built nicely. So you're getting stuff that looks awesome, but you're also getting stuff that's made well and it's well thought out. The narrow bars and mega risers are absolutely no exception. So the reason we're doing together a set of bars and risers rather than splitting them up is because these really do kind of work as a system. So let's talk about the mega risers first. Most Harleys have a 3.5-inch on-centers spacing in your triple tree for your risers. You can see here that's true of these as well, but they also get real narrow. They narrow up at the top quite a bit. What that allowed Roland Sands to do with his bars is bring in the section that actually sets within the risers to make them super duper skinny. Now on a set of low rise bars like these Pro Steps you can see in front of us, it doesn't look that crazy, it doesn't look that out of this league, but as you go up farther and farther with taller bars, it really does have a dramatic look in the way your bike winds up appearing to other people. So you'd mentioned too these Pro Step bars. You can see these things actually step down, hence the name, Pro Step. They're 1.25 inches through the center, and then out where the controls are, they step down to a 1 inch. You can use your standard Harley controls on these things, but you do have that super fat diameter bar look in the center of these. Again, really dramatic, especially on the taller heights. Now for those of you whose taste run a little bit more traditionally, you can run with a standard narrow vintage bar. Those are going to be 1 inch throughout, and of course they do use a different riser too. So make sure you get the either 1 inch or 1.25 riser that is appropriate to whatever bars you wind up selecting. Now for those of you who aren't too into the bar style itself, keep in mind you can rock a mega riser with a more standard handlebar. There's nothing that says you have to use these together. The bars are going to require the riser, but the riser does not necessarily require Roland Sands bars. I think that's pretty nifty. I really like how narrow these look. I think we're going to see a lot of guys too welding up, making bars specifically for these risers. You're going to see some crazy bar designs, I think, brought in by the fact that you now have this super narrow riser. Keep in mind, most of you guys are going to see these things on narrow glide front ends, but I'm sure there are a couple of enterprising chopperers out there that can make these also look good on something a little bit wider. Now getting back into installation, as I mentioned before, you're probably looking at 2 beards in a worst case scenario. Realistically, the thing that's going to govern how difficult your job is has to do with what you have on your bike and what you're going to. So if you've already got a set of bars that are a similar height to whatever height it is you select in either the narrow Pro Steps or the narrow vintages, the swap should be cake. You should be able to just unbolt some stuff, throw your new stuff on there, put everything back together, and you'll be running down the road really quickly. Now if you're changing height drastically, going way shorter or going way longer, you have a little bit of work to do. You're probably going to have to change out some cables and lines, and you're going to have some light electrical to deal with as well. Nothing too scary. This is a time-honored tradition carried out by millions and millions of Harley guys everywhere. Most of you should be able to get your way through it, but you should just keep in mind you will have to do things like adjusting your clutch, extending your cables, bleeding your brakes, and again, that light electrical work. Nothing too bad. Most of you should be able to get done with it. Again, 2 beards at the absolute worst. If it's not immediately evident, I'm pretty jazzed by these things. Roland Sands manages to come out with some really fresh designs that don't look weird, and this bar riser combo he's got is absolutely no different. My opinion is not the only game in town. Click below, read what some other riders who are rocking this stuff on their bike already have to say about it. Educate yourself a little bit, see if these are going to work out well for you and your motorcycle. If you have questions, leave me a comment down below, or if you need immediate assistance, get in touch with one of our gear geeks. See us at RevZilla.com, or you can always get one by phone, 877-792-9455. I'm Lemmy, I'm out of here.